Hi, Spencer. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. So we're here and we were just going to talk about like a stressful experience that you've had.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So if you just want to go ahead and tell me your story, that's great.
Okay. Trying to think. I guess a stressful story. It was a few years ago. I was basically I ran a basketball league for a gym,
Okay.
and basically it was the league happened on Wednesday nights. Normal game and basically temper started flaring. The game got aggressive. It's competitive.
Happens sometimes.
Yeah, even though so basically temper started moving more, and then one player decides to kind of cheap shot another player in the face with a fist.
Yikes.
And so that player that got hit in the jaw was severely hurt.
Wow.
So that worried me because obviously I was thinking about calling ambulance or, everything's running through my mind.
Yeah.
Is he going to sue him or, just every little aspect. So when that happened, I got pretty stressed out.
Yeah.
What the outcome could be.
Yeah, I mean, if I was in charge of some, anything and someone got severely hurt while I was in charge, that would really stress me out too.
Yeah.
Was there like any particular thing that made it so like extra stressful? Was there anything else that happened afterwards? Like, what did you end up doing?
Yeah, well, I was a very, kind of a, what's the word? Kind of, I guess lax, like, not commissioner, but person who ran the league. And there's forms, like signing release and stuff, like from liability and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And I had some signatures, but I wasn't very just like, like this, like I wasn't. I'm very laid back. I kind of like, trust people, to a fault, obviously. And then, down the line, I didn't have them sign a liability thing.
Oh no.
So, or those particular two players didn't sign it yet. So I was very worried if, obviously, could they sue us, or, me lose my job.
Yeah, that's...
So, that kind of made me, obviously very stressed, So, and then obviously when I'm not the owner or my own boss, so when your boss comes at you, it's like, okay, what's going on here? Why didn't you have this signed, or what's going on? And you're like, well, some of them were signed, but, I was very nice to them. They're nice to me. I thought it was, I didn't make it a huge priority. It was a priority, but it should have been at the top, and it wasn't at the top of my priority list. So.
Jeez, that's so stressful.
Yeah.
I can see how that would stress you out.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably really learned from it, though, I would imagine.
Yeah, no, definitely. Luckily, the guy that got hit, kind of just seek medical help and actually had, insurance and all that, kind of just dealt with it on his own, and it wasn't really brought up. So, but I definitely learned to get, signatures, and all that down so I could avoid, at least our side of it being dealt, held responsible for it. So,
yeah,
it was definitely a learning experience, it taught me to, focus on my job tasks more, just rather than trusting in other people more, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's no fault in, trusting people. I think that's like a great attribute to have, but yeah. I guess, I would think maybe when, safety comes into play, you would always want to be a little more careful. So you can always trust people, and get their signatures or whatever, but you don't work that job anymore.
No, I don't. Luckily, it ended, I moved on to another job, and I still talk to all those people, and it's all good.
Oh, good.
Just kind of just like what was I thinking, but I thought I was being just a good person. Like, oh, it's fine. I trust you. You trust me. Let's just have fun and play basketball.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. But then sometimes you lose sight of, like, at the end of the day, this is a actual business. There is insurance. There's, liability involved. And, that wasn't at the top of my list. And I kind of lost sight of that. And then that kind of was a punch in the face. But, well, no, let's get this done first. And, if that happens, at least, the company's on the good side rather than, potential, risk side.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, thank you for sharing your story. That, seems pretty stressful, but at least you learned from it. And it sounds like you obviously, are, you're a nice person, so.
Yeah, thank you.
You've developed good relationships with people and they were understanding, and it all worked out in the end, right?
I wouldn't say it's best case scenario, but definitely wasn't worst case scenario.
Best case of a worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, thank you for talking with me today.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for listening.